It's unreal. They're going to take him out now? Pulled up when he sat down on that second, when he got to second base. If he's not going to come out to pitch, he shouldn't be out there right now. But I don't know. I hope he's fine. He's the best player on the fantasy team. Yeah, he's amazing.
First baseman, Jared Walsh.
By 12. Justin, get on base. There's a two-run home run flash. Joe Ohtani.
Pitcher, Shohei Ohtani.
But he hits the ball hard, man. That probably came back at the picture.
Right fielder, Shohei Ohtani. Third baseman, Anthony Rendon. First baseman, Jared Walsh. At the plate, shortstop, Jose Iglesias. Center fielder, Taylor Ward. Fans, it is time for the 7th inning stretch presented by Arizona Complete Health. So get on your feet and join D-backs organist Bobby Freeman for the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Pitcher, number 17, Shohei Ohtani.
Every winning streak has a dramatic comeback, and yesterday, that's what occurred for the Halos. They were down for the count, but before the clock struck midnight, they came up clutch. 4 hits, 3 doubles, 13 pitches seen, and 3 runs as the winning streak now extends to 5 games. Again, if you're going to go on a streak, you have to win ugly sometimes. On a beautiful day in the desert, road tripping with the Angels. They look to make it 6 in a row against the struggling Arizona Diamondbacks. Chase Field downtown, Phoenix, Arizona. Hi there, folks. Glad to have you with us. This is Mark Gubazon. My name is Darren Sutton. We trust you've had a very good weekend to this point. As good as the Angels, and heck, as good as Anthony Rendon. Since coming back and turning the calendar to June, he has been very impactful. It's RBIs. It's driving the baseball. It's good to have him back.
Yeah, Darren, 2 for 3 yesterday with 4 RBIs. First home run since early May 3rd, as a matter of fact, for Anthony Rendon. Slugging .525 in the month of June. Even you go back to his entire career, slugging .529 for his career in the month of June. So when June turns around, he starts swinging the bat. It's clutch there as far as using the entire field, letting that baseball get a little bit deeper in the batter's box, and he's starting to drive it and doing the things we expect him to do as far as a run producer.
That 903 OPS has been fun to watch. He has made his proper adjustments. But have his team. When we come back, Jose Mota will join us and talk about how to make the adjustment when it counts most. Later in the game, making more impact, part of a winning streak. Jose Mota will join us. Then it's the action. It's the Diamondbacks. It's the Angels from Chase in Phoenix.
500, they go against the D-backs, and they also go for the sweep in the desert before they head to Oakland. Great to have you with us back again. Jose Mora alongside Darren Sutton and Mark Gubiza. You know, we talk about making adjustments all the time. And here's what separates a good hitter from a great hitter. It's sometimes pitch by pitch, sometimes inning by inning, sometimes at-bat by at-bat. So look at the way Jared Walsh takes his pitch here in the outer half with some spin. Going to the ninth inning, what did he see before? Spin, outer half. What does he do? His body says, just stay with it and drive it the other way. Trust your hands. Oh, yes. The applaud, very valid there. Now, Shohei Ohtani, this is a lesson. This is a lecture. Watch his eyes and how close everything is, and he takes pitches. He's tracking direction. He's tracking fade, velocity, spin, and certainly knowing and telling his body and his eyes, train you. This foul ball right here tells him stay a little bit more square and drive those hands through the baseball. That is a clinic on how to make adjustments and take all that information you need to go out there and be successful, especially with men in scoring position. That's what really makes a difference between good teams and bad teams in that respect. Now, for today, adjustment number one is Juan Lagares is the only guy that's seen the guy on the mound today and John Duplantier, but adjustment number one becomes passing information along. Yes, pass it to your teammates, have success, and know that they go out there on a hot team, trusting their hands. First pitch is next from Arizona.
Going streaking on a Sunday, and you can see for the visitors, the Angels, what a run it has been in these 5 straight victories. Run differential, very heady, getting closer to being even on the season, which is fun. OPS, runners in scoring position, but the most important thing, they're pitching. That's why they're winning, they're pitching.
And that makes the bullpen usage when they pitch deeper a lot more effective. Look at that bullpen ERA. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Angels. Jay up at the top of the order, Jared Walsh, Max Stassi, Anthony Rendon. June's been good to him, as we said. Jose Iglesias, Taylor Ward, Juan Lagares back out there in that unique center field at Chase. Sandoval in Joe Madden's patented pitcher bats 8th slot, unless you're Shohei, and David Fletcher batting 9th. John Duplantier has had a lot of promise for several years. This right-hander out of Houston, who pitched very effectively at Rice, goes to work. He struggled this year thus far. You can see in his 3 starts against Oakland, Milwaukee, and St. Louis. They hope the tide turns for this right-hander today.
Yeah, my go-tos against Duplantier today to be successful is crush his fastballs, 2 home runs, an OPS of 1429 versus his sinker, and lay off his low slider. Just an .091 slugging percentage versus his slider this season. Lay off that non-strike slider.
It's been a tough run for the home team. A very tough season, as a matter of fact. They have been swept in 8 series already this year. 8. And the Diamondbacks are trying to straighten things out. The Angels want to make it 9. Glad to have you with us. We are underway. There's Justin Upton. There's a base hit for the man who grew up in this ballpark as a young major leaguer and as a Diamondback. J-Up scolds the baseball, and they jumped on the fastball, as you said.
And jumping on the first pitch after 8 straight balls. His first 2 at-bats for 2 walks. He says, you know what, I'm going to be ready for a fastball, and he was, and that's that 2-seamer, and he rocketed it by Ahmed. Not easy to do. An excellent defender at shortstop, 2-time Gold Glove winner.
A swing and a drive to left field.
383 games Justin has played in this ballpark with an OPS of 941. Here's Jared Walsh. Came up big to set the table late in the game yesterday as Walsh drives one down the line and into the corner. 1 of 10 in this series, but the one a big one. And how do you take a single at bat and pay it forward for your success? We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, I even go into the at bat before where he tracked it, break a ball out of the strike zone, bent the knees down, tracked it with his eyes below the strike zone, then worked the walk, and then a line drive. 3 hits yesterday in that 9th inning on first pitch. Already seeing aggressive swings on the first pitch.
Walsh on the ground toward the hole, a dive. It's knocked down. Escobar throws in time for the out. Eduardo Escobar, that's a nice play.
Well, that had a chance to be a first to third on a base hit. But Escobar showing some range. Gets to that baseball. Had a tough time initially getting out of the glove, but it was hit so hard, he still had some time to throw out. Walsh going down the line. Playing a conventional second base position, more of a double play second base position, so in the range to get Walsh at first base.
They're at 40 wins on the season.
A lot of infielders playing a little bit more so in the middle of the dirt. Got a chance at a double play.
Waits on a 1-2,
Walker with
and
the
he
strike
strikes
to
out.
get the out.
Swung on and missed.
Max Stassi,
Third
what a great
strikeout of the
story he
day
is.
for Carlos Rodon.
He loves
Missed
this card,
time
right?
on a fluke slip and slide.
Swung on and missed.
Catch by the visiting dugout.
Rodon is attacking. Here's the 0-2.
Sometimes you can't even explain how you feel
Swung on
when you
and
go
missed.
through that. Set him back for quite some
Shoulder
time.
soreness,
Now back
and he's bounced back.
ridiculous. 13
He strikes out
hits
the
since coming
Tiger
back.
side in the
7 of them
fourth.
extra base hits.
Impressive
And a big
inning for
contributor
Carlos
yesterday.
Rodon.
Yes.
You just connected with it as Goodrum strikes out for the second time today. Certain
Pretty good
guys like
pitch,
Jonathan
but it's
Scope,
called
they don't
low.
mind. Willie Castro, not so much.
That means Max's season,
Another
because he had
strikeout for
limited
Rodon.
playing time before the injury, has been
83rd
stellar.
pitch of the day from
97 on
Rodon.
base.
On the corner to get
621
Cabrera.
slug. Those are his season numbers.
At any base, they're playing a double play depth here off of Rosarena.
And he is riding the confidence train. Back of the box, feet close together as he spins out of the way for a breaking ball.
Even going back to this at bat, that 1-0 pitch was a strike that Kelly took out of the strike zone, didn't keep that framed in there for Duplantier. Now 3-0 count. Anthony Rendon waiting on deck. I would still think Joe Madden has the confidence in Max Stassi, especially when he's swinging the bat to green light.
Pitcher's pitch on 3-0. That's a ground ball waiting to happen, so it's 3-1. I've worked with you now for several months. I've learned you're a big green light guy.
Yes, you know, because I know I did a number of times. You're just throwing that get-over fastball. Why let that one go through? Be ready to hit. You know your spot as a hitter. Some hitters don't like swinging 3-0, but I think if you're up there ready to go, that's a perfect pitch to drive.
Got away with one that time. I mean, he plated a fastball right there in the silver platter.
And also, Darren, going back to like when I was playing, it was like, okay, you could take the 3-0 because 3-1 will be the same. Not in this day and age because they're throwing a wrinkle 3-1. They're going to throw a secondary pitch, so be ready 3-0 fastball. Why not?
Well, even the 3-0 pitch a moment ago, not as dramatic of an example, but a good example. He threw a sinking two-seamer on 3-0. That's a ground ball if you swing it that way. So your point is well made. Gooby a 3-0 guy. Love it. The 3-2. Didn't mean to. On a pitch that stayed up and in, a breaking ball that time.
I think your main Mercedes would like me too on that 3-0 swing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tatis Jr. There's a lot of hitters that have done a lot of damage. Mike Trout is one that doesn't swing out a lot, but I remember was it last year he's finally swung a 3-0 and he hit a bomb with it. So pick your spots.
.26-year-old right-hander already in a bit of a bind. And that one is crushed toward the wall in deep left center field. Max again, gone! Wow!
Entertaining us again, Maximus. Fastball. Drives it out, 2-run home run. That is why he's moved up in a 3 or 4 spot in the lineup as the team gets ready for Trouty to get back at some point. But a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, just that short stride to the baseball, barreled it up and crushed it out. I mean, this baseball is crushed. That's a 4-13 sign in center. Wow, what a shot.
They call them the home run suites out there if you get those nice seats hanging over. I mean, literally, to get out to that part of the ballpark, there you see it, 440, and to get up onto the second tier, it's really tough to do. Wow, Max Stassi, in June now, has 14 hits. 8 of them are extra base hits. 8 of his 14 hits in June are extra base hits. A June flower this man is as well. He has bloomed when the month has turned into June. Anthony, 13 hits, 5 of them doubles, and then finally he added a homer yesterday. A rare run for Rendon that had taken him to about 110 plate appearances without a homer. No, it's not as if we expect Anthony Rendon to be a 50 home run guy. But you can lean pretty firmly on 20 plus.
Yes, and 40 plus doubles
exactly
every year and 100 plus RBI.
Well, that's the one thing that's going on this month. It seems to be a ton of timely hitting, Gooby. In his 10 games in June, he's got 16 RBIs.
Slugging .525 in his career, slugging .529 in June. That's crushing it. Duplantier got away with that one there. And my Hyundai key for the game today going Drake. Wants and needs some early runs, needs some solid defense and some solid pitching for today's victory for the Halos.
Rendon drops his back shoulder, lifts that one down the left field line into foul territory. Nick Ahmed quarterbacks that situation, makes the play for the out. I like the key, baby. Good
like
one.
That one? Like that one?
That's a good one.
Shortstop, number 4.
Drake's pretty popular, don't you think?
Yes. I think if you just fulfill your needs in life, which we should do first, and the wants will, they'll take care of themselves. If you pitch and play defense, you don't need too many runs.
Yeah, but you'll take those early ones.
You bet. Fouls that one off. I know you may have gotten together with Drake recently. I know he was in town watching Bronny play. He was with LeBron, Sierra Canyon High School. You guys have maybe a Starbucks meetup or anything?
Yeah, it's right around the hood. Yes, hanging out.
Good sinking fastball. 0-2. Did you go with your usual order at Starbucks?
Yes, always. Yes. You can't change it up. You know me.
Who paid?
I got this one, though.
Nice. That way the licensing on the key to the game is taken care of.
Yes.
Very well done. Mad Max, my goodness, he has just been incredible. We've missed you, and now we know why. He just shrunk Chase Field. In 6 innings. But more than that, Gooby, it was about the actual swings and misses, most by any pitcher in the game this year.
It's amazing how many swing and misses he gets with his changeup. His fastball, we know that velocity. He's starting to get back to using his slider and curveball a little more frequently, and I think that's made him a more dominant pitcher in those 10 punchies last time out. Take a look at our StatCast. 3D powered by Google Cloud. Those swing and misses, 17 with his changeup, slider going down. You see the location of that sinker, lower part, curveball, slider at 8, 4-seamer, upper part of the strike zone. So a lot of those pitches, as you can see by that perfect visual, how many were below the strike zone or off a corner.
League leaders, Morongo brings it to you. Induced in one game, most swings and misses, Dylan Cease. You can see DeGrom stamps his card twice, and Lucas Giolito, who we saw early in the season, not a big surprise. A couple of Sox on that list, along with DeGrom, and then, I mean, Patrick Sandoval dramatically in the lead in a single game.
But still, he'll take those ground ball after ground balls. He is a pitcher, when he's on his game, he's going to get a lot of ground ball action. You love the strikeouts, but ground balls get deep in the game.
Carson Kelly gets on base as well as any catcher in the game, and for that reason, they're trying anything they can. He's at the top of the order. You can see the OPS and the on-base percentage on the year, 388. Excellent, whether you're a catcher or not a catcher. So they put him at the top of the order. These Diamondbacks having a real tough go of it this year, as that one hits the inside corner.
Boy, Kelly really good against left-handed pitching. 343, 12 for 39 with 4 home runs.
Just up and away off the plate. There are a lot of pitches he throws, but you don't see as many sliders or curveballs from Sandoval. Changeup he uses more than any. And fastball about 42% of the time, 43% of the time. But I don't want to just categorize him as a fastball changeup guy. Quickly for the D-backs, Marte, Escobar, and Walker as we look on down the list. Veteran Asdrubal Carrera. Pavin Smith is a great story. Josh Reddick, Nick Ahmed, and Duplantier.
Marte pretty solid too. He's coming up next against left-handed pitchers. They're two best hitters getting the most opportunities against Sandoval this afternoon.
Change-up, swung on and missed. Another swing and miss. Down he goes.
Boy, that changeup is so good. It looks like a strike and then fades off the outside corner. Just like that fastball delivery. The arm action's just the same, and he turns it over. Never a strike. The illusion if it was going to cut back in the strike zone, but gets a swing on it.
So the chase rate on the changeup, and you wouldn't think this about a changeup. Changeup a lot of times is a pitch to contact pitch. Poor contact, but contact is 58%. That's almost unheard of. He bounces one in there, held on to it too long.
That's almost like a Pedro Martinez changeup.
Correct.
Back in his Hall of Fame career.
Right, you're exactly right. And he got the swings and misses because of the mid-90s, and, well, he sold his changeup with his delivery.
Mm-hmm. You think of changeups with Dylan Bundy, it's more of a split-finger changeup, or Alex Cobb. But this is the conventional changeup thrower. Yeah, most swing and misses on changeups in one game. Alex Cobb at the top. By the way, Luis Castillo, one of the best changeups I've ever seen.
Cobb's, that's a little bit misleading, though, isn't it? Because his changeup is a variation of a split-fingered fastball.
Yeah, exactly. But the changeup, the beauty of the changeup, there's so many different grips you can try. It's all about keeping the same arm speed, the same arm slot to be successful with it.
Induces a ground ball in between. And so walking to the base basically is Marte.
And my go-tos for Sandoval to have a big-time game against the Diamondbacks today is dominate with those secondary pitches. 22 strikeouts with those secondary pitches. And better feel with his fastball. He's giving up 4 home runs, so you got to make sure you work that lower part down and away with a fastball. Little communication breakdown on that ground ball, caught in between going for it.
I'd love to see that when we have a chance again, because I'm curious if Patrick could have even thought to get over there a little bit. Maybe to put a tiny bit on his shoulders too, as that's skied. Well, listen to the communication, Anthony. You could hear him clearly. He had it, and he made the play. Yeah, I'd love your thoughts on this, Gooby, as you see it unfold.
I almost felt that Jared Walsh felt that Sandoval wasn't covering the bag, so he felt that he had to go get to it, and then he stops, and then he realized there's no way Fletcher's getting it. There's no way he's going to be able to get back to the bag. The only way you get that, he has to see Sandoval going directly right to the base right away, and then he can get it and flip to him with him in motion right at the base. So it really wasn't anything wrong that Walsh did necessarily. It was Sandoval was kind of late in reacting going over. You got to see where your defense is set up. That straight line right towards the base is your only shot. Because Fletch is not going to make that play even if Walsh goes back to first.
Big power on mistakes, Christian Walker. Boy, if he gets that pitch all day, it'll be a great day for Sandoval. Maybe a baseball off the plate. 94, strike one.
And that's one you could set up with your changeup, that same plane, and go a little bit further off the plate. And you got to be ready. If you're Walsh, with the defense way it's set up, a lot of room in that right side of the infield for Walker to punch it that way.
Beat him in, and he serves that one to the right side. Defensively, there's Gould in center field with Lagares. He's flanked by Upton and Ward. On the infield, Fletcher Walsh right side, Rendon and Iglesias left side. Max Stassi, quite frankly, he could sit there with pots and pans the way he's hitting, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
he's a very good catcher.
You talked about why this team is playing well. It's really been the pitching staff, and the core of that is your catcher. And 12-5, the Angels' record with Max Stassi behind the plate. So important the catcher working with his pitching staff.
Rob Drake, by the way, his partner in crime, the home plate umpire. Tries to go back out there with the fastball. Drake is joined by Dan Merzel, Greg Gibson, and Will Little, first to third, are umpires in today's game. Again, with Rob Drake behind the plate.
That's part of the reason why we have the key today. Wants and needs. Drake.
Do you promise?
No, I did. I
Okay.
just made that up. But Rob Drake, good guy.
See how honest he is, folks. The 1-2. Had him reaching on a pitch down and away. Got him with a changeup. Anthony Rendon made that play look easy. And trust me, folks, it wasn't.
Max Stassi, another home run. Well, Joe Madden was educating me on modern-day baseball defense. We talked a lot about double play depth, how deep guys play nowadays. There's a reason for this. And this play right here by Escobar kind of emphasizes that, Darren and Gooby, is the fact that Joe Madden told me a few days back, says, we prefer to have depth and maybe sacrifice a double play to make sure you get one out and not prolong the inning. If he doesn't make that play, Stassi's is a 3-run home run.
Boy, you're exactly right. Is the first pitch. Breaking ball misses up to Taylor Ward. 6 home runs on the year.
Yeah, just how the game defensively has evolved in sacrificing territory for coverage, sacrificing an out sometimes just to make sure you get at least one and not 0 outs.
Well, now, Jose, that the ship has sailed, and it's not a ship that's been gone for a year. It's been, you know, a half dozen seasons that we've seen this transformation of baseball. Why in the world would you go back?
Absolutely right. That's why you see these pitchers, not necessarily big names, but having outstanding games. And Gooey, it would have been different for you because you know how big that was for you too, especially on that turf in Kansas City.
Yeah, I needed that double play turn. I was going to have traffic. I wasn't a strikeout guy. A sinker ball, you're going to have contact made. And there was also a walk in my game, so I needed double plays turn.
It's just playing the odds. You know, if 80% a hitter hits it a certain way on the ground, then you're putting the odds in your favor, doing the best you can. I love that point, Jose, though, the sacrifices that you have to be willing to make. And this game has become more about sacrifices in this generation than ever, and that speaks to contact.
There's the variances. Obviously, you have to consider somebody's range, age. You know, the ultimate is already in for so many things. Who's on the mound? And even we talked about, too, that grass in the infield. How slow, how fast is it?
Where there's a lot of teams in baseball that make sure when they have infielders with not a lot of range, they will put that shift on a lot. So they'll have 3 infielders on one side of the field, the same thing on the other side, to limit the exposure of lack of range as an infielder.
That's another variance, could be, and consider how many times, no matter where David Fletcher's playing, third, short, or second, he's the guy they want in that hole.
Speaking of holes, it is found through the right side. 4 hits and 10 at-bats in the series for Ward.
Well, he uses the whole field really well. Joe Madden really likes his versatility. He plays him at all the outfield positions, play a little first base, in emergency case, maybe even third base and behind the plate. But base hits to the right, turn on the ball. We saw that in the 9th inning yesterday afternoon. He is really confident knowing the strike zone now to be able to hit the ball wherever he's seen it.
Well, you have winning streaks because of guys like Ward, right? I mean, if you're going to win 5 in a row, you're going to have to get some big hits. And if the winning streak gets longer, then it's truly because of guys like that. I mean, you think of Ward and you look at this simply. In his last 21 games, in which the team is playing much better, and I'm pushing to the side batting average, he's slugging .508, Ward is. And of his 18 hits, 7 are extra base hits. Now that's a single, but that means he's moving the runners around the bases when he gets hits.
And when you get up and talk to him close up, he is extremely strong. And you can see why he's driving the ball. You see that slugging percentage that he has.
Lagares 1 of 4 with the double in this series. And we know baseball that you don't get everyone hot at the same time, but that man, you can see the difference in OPS. And that's exactly what we mean in that time stretch.
And you know what? He runs very well. You know, as a first-round pick as a catcher, he's got really good speed. And he ran the bases well again yesterday, the first game. I mean, he does a lot of good things with his wheels and his bat. I still think against Duplantier, you got to think hit and run against him. He's not going to overpower you with a fastball. Most of his pitches are in the lower third, and you can make contact against him, hit the ball on the ground and have movement, put pressure on a defense that has struggled this year with the Diamondbacks. Now, this isn't a count, obviously, to do it 0-2, but going forward in this game.
Got a slider, lifted it to center field. Ketel Marte. A very high contact rate against this man. League averages about 74%. He's at 79%. And here's Patrick Sandoval. A couple of years ago, he had a couple of at-bats. Interleague Cincinnati was 0 for 2. We can't grade it on batting practice, but Gooby and I scouted his batting practice last week.
So did Salvador Perez.
That's exactly
And
right,
he likes
Jose.
it.
Good point. I love that. Stabs at a bunt. How about this, by the way?
Huh.
He brought out the starting lineup. A coach's or a manager's job usually. The starting pitcher did. Ever seen this?
No. You know what? I can't imagine ever doing that because I can't imagine what I would say, both to the opponent I'm facing, the other team, and even the umpires. I would probably just say, listen, you have no chance.
How about a little bit of slash? Runners on first and third. Showed bunt, pulled the bat back. Patrick Sandoval, first big league hit.
It's 1985.
It's the Shohei Ohtani effect. You're seeing all with that. It's a third pitcher now with a base hit in interleague play. And that's something that him and Alex Cobb were working exclusively on the other day during that batting practice. Yeah, they had some pretty good swings. They were trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but this is textbook. You're just trying to make contact. And on the ground with the infield expecting a bunt, Joe going, that's how you can do it, right?
Will be a great point on just making contact. You don't need a big swing and hitting the ball on the ground because there's so many holes open.
You get to save that baseball, don't you? Did that come in there yet?
I think it did. I think it got tossed in. Oh my, up and in, and way up and in.
I think that was a foul ball. He goes, you know what, Sandoval, you didn't bunt, but I'm going to try.
It did. It got his bat.
It's crazy. His bat was in the glove of Kelly. It's not, you don't see that too often where the catcher's trying to catch the pitch. He ends up catching the bat instead.
Fletch always talks about his bat-to-ball skills, his hand-eye coordination. But he gets out of the way of the baseball as well as anyone. For a guy who dives, too, for his success, I mean, has only been hit 3 times in his career. To me, that's shocking, and it speaks to his ability there just a moment ago just to get out of the way.
I still think with a first and third spot here with one out, I'm letting Fletch. I know he might be doing this on his own, but I'm letting him swing away. He's so good with runners in scoring position.
I think that's coming from Joe, Gooby, because Fletch does not even bunt on his own for a base hit that often.
But aren't you with me on that one, Jose? Don't you let him swing away?
This has to be coming from Joe. I mean, Fletch does not even show, as I mentioned, even to draw the corners in that often. You can see that he's more emphasized on making sure he gets the sign right.
Well, that's about as straight up as a defense you may ever see.
But yes, I'll let him hit. He's got to hit.
Middle of the infield in a couple of steps. But it is straight. Pushes that bunt to the right side, heading to the plate. Little backhanded flip, not in time. Safety squeeze. And the Angels add on. It's 3-0. Fletch gets it done.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to get him at home. You're better off just turning around and trying to get that out at first to prevent a huge inning going against you. Fletch doing it textbook. That was right at it. 1985 for Joe Madden. Good read. Taylor Ward mentioned he runs really well. There's no chance you're going to get him at home plate.
I mean, Darren, Gooby, what an example as to how tough it is to defend this play. And why wouldn't the first baseman just cheat in as much as he can? He showed it 3 different times. But good for Joe Madden to read all that and for Fletcher to execute it. Nicely done.
An RBI for Fletch, 18 on the year. Here's Upton again.
By the way, amazing. Justin Upton, 17 leadoff starts. He has scored 18 runs, including that one today. Impressive from that leadoff spot.
That's a fun number there in this ballpark. 72 career home runs. Isaac Goldschmidt, Gonzo, Finley. Jay up, drives that one toward the alley. 1 run will score. Sandoval easily. It's kicked around out there a bit. 2 runs will score. The Angels way on top now. It's 5-0. Jay up gets it done. Back home.
2 Rockets in the game. And the Achilles heel, along with the injured pitchers not getting their job done, has really been the fielding. Said 90-mile-an-hour fastball right into the swing path for Jay up, and he crushed this baseball. Marte takes that longer route to try to get behind it, but unable to get that baseball in his glove. And Fletch able to come all the way around from first. 3-run inning already. Adjusted up and in scoring position for Jarrett Walsh.
Talked about it in night 1 how much Marte does not love, I'll use that word, being a center fielder. Better suited to be an infielder, but Arizona did not bring in another outfielder this year. So a tiny bit out of position. Curse for being a good athlete, that's the best way to put it. Nice job by Sandoval, by the way. Time now for a quick word from Jack in the Box.
With triple the beef, triple the cheese, and triple the bacon. My $6.99 triple bacon cheesy jack combo. Only at Jack in the Box.
Walsh grounded out. It was that great play that Jose was talking about by Escobar.
By the way, Sandoval getting his work in. He walked that lineup card out to home plate. Gets an infield hit, or hit through the infield, and then scores on a base hit from second. A lot of exercise for Patrick Sandoval.
Strikes me that that works well for him.
You know what? Just to cut the edge, just slow the game down, because he's a high energy guy. That's perfect for him.
That one is high. So there was a moment where we cut to the dugout and showed Joe after Sandoval's hit, and he was shaking his head side to side as if to say no. And I'm curious if Sandoval did that on his own. Read the defense and did that on his own.
I mean, he was working on that a lot, and it may have been to let him swing the bat. So I know this is not an easy thing to do, and I know we talk about a lot as far as pitchers.
Walsh keeps that one fair. Neither one of us thought he would keep that one fair. A double and an RBI. And the Angels lead it 6-0.
Boy, that at bat Last night, that at bat after 3 straight called third strikes, tracked the baseball, worked the walk, double next at bat. Hard hit baseball, probably thought he had a single. His first at bat, now a rocket double. 15th double, now 41 RBIs this year. 108 miles an hour exit velocity, so Walsh is getting locked back in again.
That walk, Gooby, then Soria's at bat. He is back on time. Especially, you mentioned that rocket he was robbed off of there in the first inning. Foot back on time.
So you can't pay it forward with a good at bat.
For sure. The mechanics are the same. You know what? I always was told by good hitting coaches, the way you track a baseball is the way you're dictating your swing to go. Your eyes, your hands, and everything. Take right, swing right.
By the way, going back to that, what our conversation with Patrick Sandoval, why Joe was kind of shaking his head. If you haven't bunted a lot, it's not an easy thing to do as a pitcher. If you're an American League pitcher and you're going to play in the National League ballpark, I remember when David Cohn was traded from the Royals over the Mets, this one of his first times squaring around the bunt, he had his hand wrapped around the bat and he got hit right on the finger and it broke his finger. So it's not an easy thing to do when you haven't done it a lot. So I don't think Joe was putting on the bunt. I think he was just trying to let him swing away.
And he may have been shaking his head in, well, maybe shock.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe he pulled that off. Well, what a tough go in that dugout on the other side. They opened the year, Arizona, 15-13. Good start, right? Optimism, selling tickets as they open up. As that one hit Stassi.
That might be it for Duplantier.
Yeah, velocity for Duplantier is way down this year. It's been something he's had to fight. It was up to the mid-90s consistently last year.
Third baseman, Anthony Rendon.
And here's Rendon. But to finish the thought, since that 15-13 start, they've gone 5-32.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the first 3 seasons for Torey Lovullo as the manager for the Diamondbacks, very successful ones. Last year in that sprint of a season, struggled with 25-35, and this year really struggling as a team. But successful his first 3 years, all over 500.
Yeah, very well received in the locker room, and living part of my life there, I can tell you, very well received in the community. I mean, makes it a point to give back a ton. So it's just locally for the folks there been frustrating. Meantime, a couple of blocks over, the NBA team there is the talk of the town. People can't get enough of the Phoenix Suns, as Lovullo is going to make that change. John Duplantier, it's been a tough season so far. He's made 4 starts now, and the ERA will stay in double digits. Hopefully somewhere the Rice alum will find that velocity. 6-0. Angels Baseball on Valley Sports is brought to you by Hyundai. See your Southern California Hyundai dealer today. Because the longer you look at a new Hyundai, the more there is to like. By Jack in the Box. Our $6.99 triple bacon cheesy Jack combo is here only at Jack in the Box. Flying through the desert up in North Scottsdale, heading up to Cave Creek. And a change early. Riley Smith takes this opportunity to go to work. Right-hander. 10 relief outings, pretty good. And a guy who, as a starter, really struggled. Made his big league debut, did Riley Smith last year. As a relief pitcher, his ERA is 3.32, so a little bit better than that we see overall. And Anthony Rendon takes his shot. That was a fun graphic, right, folks? 16 RBIs, leading the game.
You knew he was going to get rocking and rolling. Joe Madden even said before this series started, he expected him to hit a home run in this series. He really continue to swing the bat well. Well, he's checked all those boxes so far. Just got to keep those swings going.
Wow, that's an interesting doppelganger there.
Yes.
He's got a little more flow on both the beard and the hair.
But he still has that same stare, focus.
And technically, Anthony's is more of a goatee. As the fastball stays high.
Yeah, Smith's fastball is 91, 96. There's a slider, curveball, and quite a few changeups.
And they found the right spot for him, as we said. He's been able to help in the bullpen. A little bit underneath that one to Anthony Rendon. 2-1 the count. All year long, Anthony, a much better hitter on the road than at home. But part of his awakening in June has certainly occurred at home as well. His follow through, and maybe he's been doing it his whole career, but he has such a unique follow through on a swing like that. He almost looks like he's out on the 8th tee box at the Masters.
Yeah.
As he follows through.
And this tracking his swing to make sure everything is in line. Or even sometimes in that return in a tennis match.
Good pitch at the outside corner, strike 3. Started it off the plate, had just enough run. Pitcher's call, certainly.
Yeah. It looks like it just barely, if at all, touched that outside corner. Anthony Rendon says that's not a strike.
But Anthony, I know, was standing out there at third when he saw Patrick Sandoval get one about 2 or 3 inches further out. I guess you just start. Okay, now that Anthony has that, the whole team has to say, okay, be aware away. 9th man to bat in the inning is Iglesias. Grounded out back in the first.
He's got 4 straight games with an extra base hit for Iglesias.
In that span, folks, he's slugging close to 650. Lively. That's some lively stuff, Gooby.
Yeah, if you can run that fastball in, you can bring that fastball back on the outside corner, go along with your slider. Like I said, his changeup is good. It's enough movement, enough velocity on the fastball to be an effective pitcher out of the bullpen for the Diamondbacks.
Riley pitched at LSU. Before that, San Jack, the great junior college program in Texas. Kind of a nice find for Arizona. He was a 24th round pick. Hit hard on the ground, but right into that defense. And in time for the out. Sandoval, slash, baby, slash. I am swinging. First big league hit.
That was a rocket, right? Exit velocity.
In the pool off the deep end, obviously. Patrick Sandoval. About this as a starter, and difference in 20 pitches or 20 innings as a starter. 2.70 as a reliever, 6.14 and 7 1/3. But talk about bearing down, Gooby. 200 average, 1 extra base hit with runners on, and you know that we saw him pitch out of a lot of trouble all through camp. And he told me, found something out. Go out there and keep it as simple as possible. Also think down in the zone with those guys aboard.
Yeah, he's gotten 5 ground ball double plays turned behind him. He has a chance to get a swing and miss with all 4 of his pitches. Doesn't happen often where you have a changeup, you get a ton of swing and misses, but he has all 4 that can get those chases.
As Drupal Cabrera to lead things off. One-time shortstop, moves over to third. Today he played first the other night.
I would not be surprised, guys, if Joe Madden strategically to get Sandoval away from thinking about pitching, sent him to exchange the lineup card at home plate and change his mindset a little bit.
That crossed my mind, Jose. I'm curious because he'll be asked about it certainly after the game.
And remember one thing too is on short notice, when we have the little issue with Shohei and Bart up in the Bay Area, it was Sandoval who was told to start, and since then he's been a different guy on that mound.
There's that pitch we were talking about. Remember, Anthony frustrated?
Yeah, now he's set up for his changeup. If he ever really gets a good feel for his backdoor breaking ball, wow, could that be effective? Because you have a changeup on that outer half going away, but you also can bring a breaking ball back and catch the corner along with his fastball.
There's the changeup. What a pitch right over the top of it. 2-2.
I mean, you look at that delivery and every release point. It could have been a slider, starting all to look the same.
That is your absolute goal. You have to have that. Otherwise, hitters will track and lay off off-speed pitches.
Swings right through another one. He doubled up on the changeup, down and away. And that is a little turn and dive to it, almost like a small right-handed slider.
Yeah, it is so good, so effective. You see that circle change, the true circle changeup for Patrick Sandoval. And credit Max Stassi. He saw a swing like that on the pitch before. Why not go right back with it? So often you see him, all right, let me try something else. Stay with it. That backing up with the same exact pitch works effectively almost every time.
The first breaking ball of the game is a strike through a slider right down the middle to Pavin Smith. It was good to be able to go to that pitch. Haven't shown it at all. Now a lefty's here. Slider, strike 1.
Go back to that changeup and how many swing and misses. 56. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Look how many swing and misses and the spots where his changeup have been chased and no contact. 56 of them. 2021. Patrick Sandoval.
You know, the ones that are high are more dictated by having to respect his velocity. His velocity has been a constant for him too.
Guys, they never look to throw it there, but I do think in the last decade the high changeup has way more effect.
Yeah, it does. It used to be anytime you threw a high changeup, that baseball was gone. But sometimes with Patrick Sandoval, because we mentioned it, high energy in his delivery, he drags his elbow, but still he has enough movement on his changeup to get a swing and miss, but it's not ideal for him.
Positioned perfectly, and the shift in the right spot, and right at the third baseman Rendon.
Right fielder, number 22.
Who was it, guys, earlier this year? Jose, was it Lucas Giolito that threw a, as we see this one more time, threw a ton of changeups, chest high, and got all sorts of swings and misses, Jose?
He is the prime example in baseball right now on high changeups and swings and misses.
So you don't teach it, Gooby, but
it's part of his game, because if you can ride a fastball up there, you can't live up there with your changeup. If you're a sinker ball pitcher, that'll be crushed. But if you're a four-seam fastball guy, which Giolito is now, as compared to when he first came up and even in the high school level, that you can make that pitch and be effective, because they're still trying to gear up the velocity on a fastball, but it's the same spot and you're dropping about 8 miles per hour.
My favorite part about that breakdown that my fine color analyst just gave is that he saw him pitch a ton in high school. I just like that you do that. That's really putting both bookends on the story. I love it.
Yeah, you're talking in high school level, 98 miles an hour. And I just love my reaction for the kids coming in. Hey, coach, what do I do? I said, you know what? If I still go back to, you ever watch Muhammad Ali against George Foreman? Just rope it up. Just try to wait them out. Go down to the guys after he gets to that pitch limit, and then we have a shot.
Didn't square that one up at all. The veteran Josh Reddick. A 1-2-3 inning. Cabrera, Smith, Reddick all go down. Rocking with Angels fans all weekend on the road, but they're coming home. And get your red on and celebrate the return to full capacity at Angels Stadium this Thursday against the Tigers. Go ahead and get plans now, because you can get half-price tickets. Visit angels.com/reopen. Use the promo code REOPEN. Come in red, have fun, engage, and get a discount. In on the knuckles, a little lazy pop-up out there to Nick Ahmed. Ward 1 for 2 after singling and scoring in the second.
By the way, there may be a rumor out there that Shohei Ohtani may be pitching that game on Thursday. Just a rumor.
I've heard that rumor. I've heard that rumor.
That'd be a fun day for everyone to come back to the stadium at the Big A.
Lagares spins out of the way. Smith comes on in relief of John Duplantier, who had a tough one today. So when you talk about Lagares, kind of looking for the light switch in the dark, we've all done it, trying to find his way again. He'll have a little blip, heat up, and then he's cooled down. Obviously pitched in yesterday. On the ground, and this backs up my point. It's not a ton of strikeouts for Juan. He's 7 for his last 49, but he's only struck out 8 times. Batting average for balls in play is 170 during that time.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of ground ball to third base. When he was locked in all spring training long in the beginning part before hurting his calf and then being out for a while, coming back and getting hot. But it's always that line drive, ground ball up the middle, the other way. He can still turn on a ball left center, but his best swings are right back up the middle. Hardest contact that way.
Sandoval on the ground. Not at all afraid to make contact. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels.
Cy Young with the Angels. We got to keep an eye here throughout your career. At age 48, this is Bartolo Colon again. Oh, that little cutter outside. Got enough. Bartolo, how about a complete game at age 48? Having a great time playing because he loves to play the game over Mexico. With Eric Ibar, Danny Espinosa, Chris Carter's teammates. Gooby, that's playing because he loved the game.
I just love his passion. I do.
That's a marvel,
yes.
by the way.
Yes. He's, you know what? He doesn't waste pitches. I know that. He's throwing a lot of strikes. He's throwing a lot of fastballs, but he loves the game. And I've always appreciated anybody that loves this game or loves what you do.
Yeah, tough league to pitch in thin air. You're challenged by the hitters because obviously there's a lot of freedom on some things out there offensively. But I asked him, so what are you going to, the cutter? He goes, sinker, man. And it doesn't sink a whole lot, but I just force myself to take on and off that sinker, and it works.
So he's in your phone, yes?
He is one of my good friends, and through the years, yes.
So real quickly, again, I'm curious about the why. I mean, I'm very curious about the why because we marvel at what he's doing. Why did he share with you he chose to do it?
To play Mexico?
Yes.
He wants to continue to play, and there's still some itch on getting back to Major League Baseball. There's some things that he'd like to reach in terms of what Dominicans on the mound have done.
That's incredible, Jose.
Yeah, wants to do it.
By the way, another one of my favorite all-time Angels, Eric Ibar. You talk about tough. Gold Glove winner, too, with the Halos. Love how he played the game.
Oh, what a great story that is.
Some milestones within reach, and he goes, as long as I can pitch, somebody's going to be watching.
Bouncing ball right on top of it. Boy, tied him up nicely. Nick Ahmed.
That's a great play by Rendon. He made sure he tried to field that in fair territory. You can let that one go. That would probably go foul. He went up and got to that baseball knowing he has a chance to get a pretty easy ground ball out.
Darren, you were talking about Angels history and pitching today. As we bring up Bartolo Colon, have to always be connected with Dean Chance. Forever. Angels, hurlers, the Cy Young awards. Nice job breaking it down today on the pregame with Frenchie. Darren.
That's always an easy subject, right? I mean, it's fun to talk pitching, and you never have enough time to go down the list. But for me, you know, being a fan, you know, you and I were part of the announced teams when Percy was really at his heyday, but I wasn't around much for Scott Shields, but I think those two arm in arm are so important to discuss. I think we forget about how great the career of Scott Shields was, albeit only a 10-year sprint. Those 10 years were good. He had some struggles in his last couple of years, but boy, was he huge.
Talk about tough. Just like Ibar, huh, Gooby?
Oh.
Scott Shields?
Oh, yes. He would take the baseball every day. It was like 3-4 days in a row. And you know, Soch was going over to him, hey, how do you feel? I'm ready. And he would go out and compete. Even if his arm was dragging, that dry sinker he would throw on the leather of the baseball with no seams. It just had that incredible movement.
Yeah, fearless.
Smith gets a chance, a rare chance as a reliever to get an at bat. He may get a couple if he helps his team out.
Already 4 ground ball outs in the game for Sandoval. By the way, Jose, I always carry around my Dean Chance signed baseball card with me.
That's awesome.
He signed it for me years ago. We were celebrating the 50th anniversary of Angels baseball. Now we're at the 60th. I still keep that in my bag.
That's great. I mean, talk about putting the organization on the map at a different level. Then Bartolo bringing it back with 21 wins back in 2005.
Carson Kelly at the top of the order.
My
Look
favorite.
at that.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh,
It's one of my favorite. I mean, his stories, boxing promoter too. I mean, he was an amazing man. What a great pitcher he was.
Drop and drive.
You can see that in the delivery, even the baseball card. Love it.
Kelly takes low. Guys like Dean Chance because it goes back a long time. Guys like Scott Shields just because he was in that unique position of not getting the last out all the time.
You mentioned
Heck,
Percy.
Andy Messersmith was a great Angel, you know?
Absolutely.
There's a number, and it's a deep number. It's called win probability added, and it's how you change the win expectancy of the game from one plate appearance to another. Troy Percival's #1 all time for the Angels. And number 7 on that list is Scott Shields. Now, obviously, closers or late game relief pitchers have, in high leverage situations, a bigger chance to impact than a long stretched out starter.
Yeah.
You mentioned Percy. I mean, the connection between Percy and Joe Madden forever. That's a sit down we got to have with Madden to be about Percival and the influence he had in his career.
Even go back to Percy's influence, who influenced him out of the bullpen, and he learned so much. Lee Smith, the Hall of Famer. Percy would talk about how much Lee Smith helped him become the pitcher he became as far as a dominant closer.
By the way, despite being a starter, Nolan Ryan is #2 on that list. Win probability added. K-Rod #3, Weaver 4, Finley, Tanana, Scott Shields. Just to name a few on that list. Two and two the count. On the one-time Cardinals prospect, Cardinals catcher Carson Kelly.
Well, he's made some really good pitches to him. That's a pretty good little changeup. Tried to get him a chase. Mentioned Kelly's numbers against left-handed pitching, so he sees the ball really well. He struck him out on a changeup first at bat.
Kelly saying, look, you get me once on this, great. but you're not going to get me twice. Remember, that's the same pitch he struck him out with. Goes away with the changeup. Kelly drives it to right center field. Shy of that pool, it is run down by Juan Lagares. 8 in a row sat down. Date 2018. Welcome to the big leagues, David Fletcher. A blast into right center field. First big league hit, a triple against Marco Gonzalez. And if you thought he was done, he wasn't. That's a very Fletch-like hit there. And you knew what the future would hold. And then again, a little bit too deep for Fletch, aren't you? You'll learn in years to come that that man can drop a 9-iron or a wedge onto the grass in front of you like nobody's business. 6 players with 3 hits in their MLB's debut. And in the Angels' history, 3 years ago today. Wow, Walsh did it, huh? How about that?
Yeah. It's good to see Fletch. Even, it wasn't a base hit. He did a nice job as far as getting that sac bunt down for an RBI, his first at bat. Get him rolling again.
On the outside corner, takes a sinker for a strike. Unfortunately, the M's won that game with some rallies late. They scored 4 runs in the final 3 innings. Fought off. Fletch tries to use that right side. You're talking about your favorite card. I got mine for sure. I keep it in my wallet all the time. It's my Mark Kubizak card. Right there. I mean, my wallet's right here. Got the Rawlings wallet, and they asked me what mine was. I keep it in my wallet with me all the time.
Is there any moss in that wallet too, by the way?
It's long before I met you, I kept this in my wallet. I mean, before I even met you. The sad thing about it, folks, is I keep this in my wallet. I now get to work with him as a colleague. Still won't sign it for me.
I think Shohei approved. He gave you a thumbs up for that one.
Every day, would you sign? Nope. No autographs, son.
I just want to keep you my friend. That's all.
You love a good tired bit. I know you do.
Yes, I do. I love it. That's why I thought there was some moss coming out of your wallet, since it's always when it comes time to...
I heard you.
I know.
I get it.
Never mind. I'll leave it go.
You're picking up tabs for Drake if you were listening to our show earlier. 0-2 the count. Justin absolutely trying to homer in Chase Field. Last couple of swings. He's got that temptation now.
Yes, he does. I mean, it's still incredible what he's done in that leadoff spot. 17 starts, 19 runs scored for Upton.
I had to call many a game. There's a restaurant in left field up above the second deck. There's a restaurant where he nearly went into some plates for dinner in left. And I think he's thinking about that right now.
Yeah, I mean, he crushed the baseball. He is so strong. Stays back. He's really, I think since Joe put him in that leadoff spot, he knows the strike zone even better.
That fastball, boy, up with run. That's tough to square up altogether.
You won't make it easy. Check out Justin Upton choking up now with 2 strikes, guys. Look at that leadoff mentality. It really is filtering through. Look at this.
That's Ricky Upton, as Joe Madden would say.
Slider spins away. And again, for all you Upton fans, Angels fans, remember, this is a man who started his journey as a shortstop. That big, that strong. He was a shortstop when he was drafted. And he slowly made the move into the outfield with him. Outside corner, strike 3.
That was an unhittable spot. He might even got the benefit of that call. Smith on this one, because that's a nasty slider. Yeah, that was a little off the plate. That's a great take. Don't change anything if you're Justin up. You track that out of the strike zone and you were correct. It was just called a strike.
And if you're just starting to hang with us here in the 4th, that's been a strike today. Sandoval and anyone in a Diamondbacks uniform has been able to take advantage. What he did, he toyed with him, made a mistake or two, and then out of his holster, he pulled the best pitch, period. Walsh fights it back to the screen.
Yeah, you look at umpires, and as a pitcher, you're going to do that. Even hitters do it. Certain umpires are known as pitchers umpires, hitters umpires, although you're always supposed to have the same exact strike zone. But Rob Drake behind the plate is a guy that if you're a pitcher, you're feeling much better with him behind the plate as far as one of those borderline pitches going your way.
Got away with an off-speed pitch, middle in. Pulled the hands in, rocket shot, foul. That literally at home run distance. He shot that into the bullpen on a line.
And these hands are getting back to being quick and comfortable. The timing there for Walsh.
Hey, by the way, were you shocked that he kept that ball fair in his last at bat, that double?
I thought that had no chance. I mean, he got that barrel out quickly. A lot of times you're going to pull that, you're going to hook it foul. It was too hard to have a chance to do that.
Jose, what are the keys to doing that? I mean, look, keeping a ball fair that shouldn't be kept fair. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Bottom hand. Drive through. Knob goes first, and you see the barrel just get the inside part of that inside fastball or breaking ball, and that's how you don't get that slice at the end. Bottom hand.
Did you see that swing that way?
Absolutely. I was trying to see if maybe we have a side view of that double, but obviously it's one of those where you, from the side view from third base is where you see how long was that barrel behind before he got inside that baseball. Otherwise, where you see when you hook it is you see the barrel fly out early, and even in a good swing, but you pull that ball foul.
That's quite stunning. 2-2 the count, 6-0. The Angels lead it.
And it's something you can learn. Yes, you can.
Inside.
Pretty good
3-2.
fastball, 96. Trying to bring that two-seamer back, and Walsh was reading that. The way his hands are right now, that would be a dangerous pitch if you're Smith. You better miss off the plate in it, because if it drifts out over the plate, that's going to be a home run for Walsh.
Let's take a look right here. Talk about that double. Look at the hands come first, then the barrel comes, and that's where he keeps it in fair territory.
And it wasn't just kind of fair.
It was by a lot.
That was great.
Nice look. When it occurred, as he hits a high fly to right, Gooby and I looked at each other in shock into right center field. It's put away by Marte. It's an Angels kind of day at Chase Field. Of the return to full capacity this Thursday against the Tigers. The first 5,000 kids ages 3 to 13 receive a youth trout jersey, courtesy of Angels Radio, AM 830. Visit angels.com/promotions. Jose Gooby Sut, glad to have you back with us. Chase Field, Copper Square, downtown Phoenix, where looking to make it 6 in a row. These Angels. And we're enjoying watching Sandoval work. I mean, that's a simple way to put it. If you tune in for anything now, it's all eyes on him to see how he continues to progress as a man who could be a key member of this rotation for quite a while.
Keep pitching as if the score is 0-0. Don't look ahead the following inning. This moments like this is where you challenge and go right after hitters and get the job done.
That pitch is low and inside. 2-0 the count. We talked about the start last time out. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 runs allowed at Oakland in that emergency Bart start. It was 5 innings, shutout baseball, 4 strikeouts. And against Oakland, he had faced him twice, 5 innings, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts. I think the thing that has changed the most is from 3 starts ago to now is how many bats he's missing.
Yet he's still capable of getting a ground ball out, soft contact on the ground.
Marte has the lone single in this game. And it was a funky ground ball that ended up between Sandoval, Fletcher, and Walsh. And no one there to make the play. Escobar waits on deck. 3-1, line to left field, broke his bat with it, but it's a base hit. Marte, a 2-for-2 day. He's the only one in a Diamondbacks uniform with a hit.
Yeah, and if anything, it's been hit this season against Patrick Sandoval. It's been his fastball. You see the usage of 57%. Opponent's batting average, 341. OPS, 1147. Much less as far as that whiff percentage on his fastball. Secondary pitches have been electric. So 541 OPS against his secondary pitches and a whiff rate of 51%.
That's crazy. That includes that slider that has a whiff rate of 45%, which doesn't throw a ton. Only about 12% of the time.
And it's a good fastball, too, but a lot of times he'll leave that fastball middle up. And that's when it gets hit. When he spots it down and away, it's a good pitch. For Marte against left-handed pitching now. 13 for 24.
Slightly closed stance for Escobar.
Look at the pitch usage for Patrick Sandoval. His changeup at 36%, sinker 22, four-seamer 20, slider 12%, curveball 10%, and a different rotation, especially that four-seamer upstairs, that different rotation of the baseball to get a few more swing and misses like that one. Oh, that's a pretty good pitch.
So now we know of Rob Drake that the strike zone has extended a baseball or two out, but not much up, because that was within the strike zone.
So he's a low ball umpire, calling a low strike.
So throw that.
It's a neutralizer. Come right back with a changeup. Now you're looking up there as a hitter. You're down 6-0. You're thinking, okay, he's going to throw me a 2-1 fastball. No. Another swing and miss on his changeup. That's just a great view and how he stays on top of that baseball and that downward action. Showed that in that StatCast 3D how that rotation of the baseball, that downward action as the hitter sees that baseball coming to the plate.
Bouncing ball. Is there a chance for two? Little flip. How about this? Unbelievable effort. You knew once the circus was open for business that they wouldn't be able to get two. But a fun effort nonetheless. Fletch to Iglesias. And did they call him safe at second? Did he miss the bag? Yes.
I think they want to check. I think they called him out. They want to check to make sure.
I thought they'd called him out. I thought he was on the bag, but.
Now batting, first baseman, Christian Walker.
That baseball was going in the glove just as a flip over from Fletch. Yep. It's really close. I don't know if I'm Joe Madden, I'm worried about. I think you might be thinking about that slide. I would almost let that one go and be that out at second base and not think about that one.
And you rolled the dice. You're exactly right.
I don't want them checking that too hard in New York.
Oh, that's good.
That's just me saying that, son. That's just me.
So fielder's choice. And here's Christian Walker. Wow. That's a couple that are not kind of in the strike zone, but are strikes in this inning.
I was just kind of penciling that down for a strike. I mean, that's all over the strike zone. I was thinking, okay, 0-1, see if you get a changeup, get a ground ball double play, get your 6th double play turn behind you this year.
You can do it 1-0. 2-0 the count. Although that call right there, what difference does it make if you look at the numbers? That single call. If he goes 1-0, opponents have an on base against him of 407, 0-1, 250.
That's one of my favorite stats to look at. There's some pitchers that are really, it's kind of split in the middle, but some are dramatically different between 0-1 and 1-0.
There's your ground ball. Is it firm enough, though? The flip, and that's all they will do.
Just a little bit short of the bag on the slide from Escobar.
I think he thought, if they're going to hurry this baseball, I don't want it in my teeth.
And another soft contact on a pitch. A Sandoval.
Sử dụng những đường truyền.
Just a little bit short of the bag. That way there won't be any review on that one.
No review, no interference at all.
Let's go. Thank you.
As Drupal Cabrera struck out back in the second inning. And the interesting thing about Sandoval, and that changeup makes it happen, as he fires a fastball with some cut to it for strike one, is even his within the strike zone contact is way down. League average contact of pitches in the zone about 82%. His is 70. So if he throws a pitch within the strike zone, he is dramatically below the average pitcher. A little roller. Sandoval comes off the mound. Fletch, nothing he could do. There's 2 hits like that. Marte with the hit almost exactly like that in the first, and now here in the fourth, Cabrera.
Really, there's nothing where Fletch is playing. There's no chance at all he's making that play. Mentioned the soft contact, and there's been a couple already in this game. A number in this inning alone on the ground.
Pavin Smith lined right to the glove of Anthony Rendon, who was playing in the perfect spot on a shift last time up. How about this slide and Sandoval's reaction?
Fletch is great too. That is so good.
That's right on the hot carpet in KC.
Oh yeah, that's
that's
yeah,
a burn right there.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not going to feel real good.
So, Gooby, you've seen him for 3 days now. What are your thoughts on Pavin Smith? They plan to build around him.
I'd like him a lot. I see a guy that if you just let him swing the bat the way he's capable of doing, not try to force him to try to hit home runs, he's going to be special. Left center, right center, quick bat, runs well, defends well. He has a shot to be a really good player. Sometimes you get so caught up. Even the other day we were talking about Garrett Anderson. They were trying to force him. Everyone's talking about hit more home runs because he's a big guy. But stay in that swing where he's hitting the ball to the gaps. He's going to be special.
96, too much for him. Jose, did you like the comp the other night? A James Loney comp to Pavin Smith?
Yes, for sure.
See the similarities to a young James Loney. Foul line to foul line, doubles guy.
Grounded in his stance. Solid stance. You know, you don't see a lot of guys that are spread out anymore. Covers the other half well. And with time and experience, he'll know which pitches he should be turning on and look for power. As GA did as he learned the league.
Just got a piece of a looked like almost like a cutter.
Yeah, almost looking at Walker as he's getting his lead, leaning one way, leaning the other way. You're seeing Max Stassi behind the plate, waiting until the last second to set up. He's not giving the sign, he's giving location of the pitch.
Was that a firm slider at 90?
Yeah.
He really turned that one loose.
I'm liking what Max Stassi's been doing behind the plate. He just waits to the last second to set up.
That was a 90-mile-an-hour slider.
So you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And setting up. That way a base runner at second can't lean back towards the base if it's an inside pitch or lean away. Not that you're giving, if it's a fastball or break a ball, but you're just getting a spot, then you can guess along with if it's going to be an inside pitch, more like it's going to be a fastball against a lefty from Sandoval.
I got a follow-up if this at bat extends. 1-2. It didn't, but it's a base hit left field. Using the entire ballpark, Pavin Smith drives in a run, and it's 6-1.
And a harmless inning, nothing hit hard, ends up being in a run for Arizona, so you got to stay focused here for Patrick Sandoval. There's a lot of outs in this inning, yet the Diamondbacks are still swinging the bat and they scored a run. That's why we like that kid a lot. It's a good visit for Matt Weiss.
Right, because you want it to stay at 1.
Yes.
Real quickly, on the point you were making about Stassi, talking about not showing your hand until late. For the pitcher, does that have any effect? Is there a point where you need to get there for the pitcher and give a target?
No. If you know what the pitch is coming, you know exactly where you want to throw. You're better off knowing that he's going to be able to move over there. That's a conversation you have in between innings or even before the game. I'm going to wait till the last second if there's a man at second base during the game. Just trust me, I'll be there, and I'll be able to frame your pitches on the corners.
Josh Reddick grounded out back in the second inning. Swings right through it. Both of those last couple of hits that we've seen, the hit probability below 30% for both. And that's what you're talking about. Bouncing ball gets up over the mound. Charging Iglesias was shifted on around, and another slow roller. 6-1 the score, though. Patrick and his Angels on top. Explosive since coming off the injured list. And again, for Max, home run number 5 on the year, but he's got 8 of his last 14 hits are extra base hits. He's crushing the baseball in the month of June. He is healthy, and our Kia player profile doubles down on those numbers. Look at this. Slugging percentage in June, 25 at-bats as your minimum. Only Vlad Guerrero is better.
Justin Upton in that list, too. Okay, now we know for sure that Rob Drake is calling the low strike.
Max was hit by a pitch back in the second inning, got him in the elbow. And he went around on a diving sinker that he committed to. That's strike 3, and you saw Vlad how much damage he is doing in the month of June. We love all the Shohei homers. The world watches. He has 17. Vlad Jr. hit number 21 of the year. Up and over the pen.
That is a long way the other way.
Over the pen to the opposite field.
Hey, Toronto hit 8 home runs today in Boston. 8. Wasn't that a TV show, 8 is enough?
It is.
Yeah.
Dick Van Patten. Anthony Rendon goes and gets a pitch that was elevated. I'm told that this man had some fun today too. Number 19.
Is that Slam Diego?
It is Grand's. Oh my goodness. He literally hit it into the hot dog stand. A grand slam. All right, Shohei. Good stuff.
Some great young talent in our game. It's phenomenal just to watch this.
And then also on that list, Acuna, as we mentioned. Heck, Matt Olson's got 17 now. Jesse Winker also was 17. There are no senior members of the game atop the home run list now that I look at it longer. There are none. Pulled his hands in, hits a pop-up, left side, long run, still coming. Haven Smith puts it away. Big A in the desert. That's Chase Field. Here's our ballpark view from the T-Mobile coverage cam. moments like Ohtani's successes, moments like the comeback yesterday, moments like the balk calls where the fans had discussed, this feels like and has felt like, and I had a spy attending a couple of nights ago, this feels like an Angels home game. And boy, these fans, kudos, first of all, to the Angels fans in the Valley, who witnessed, by the way, the rally in the Valley, as Terry Smith called it. But kudos to those from out here that have traveled to the desert where the high tomorrow is going to be 115.
Yeah, it's a dry heat, though.
It is now. I told you that. Not in August. Angels fans, way to go.
But we've been interacting with a number of Angel fans on social media, and they all were saying how excited they were to go out to Arizona to watch the Halos play.
Wow. Strike one to Nick Ahmed. It's just a thing the rest of this game. That outside corner extends almost to the other batter's box and up, although that was pretty close to being up. Nick Ahmed 0-1 reaches on an off-speed pitch. Rendon was already cheating it. It made that play that much easier.
Boy, how much soft contact against Patrick Sandoval today. It's pretty amazing what he's been doing so far, getting a lot of ground balls too. I got 8 ground ball outs so far for Sandy today.
Over the outside corner, that is strike one. To Riley Smith. Changeup gets a swing and a miss. Jose Mota, personality plus. It's an interesting look at his personality for Patrick Sandoval today.
He is much more relaxed and goofy. How many times throughout spring training, Darren, you saw Joe Madden even make the reference on Shohei Ohtani on flipping the ball as Smith goes down and being relaxed and goofy. I think we are seeing a bit of a transformation here on Patrick Sandoval, even the demeanor during the game and during starts.
Slowing the game down. By the way, how great was that look by Smith after back-to-back changeups? Like, really? You're throwing me a changeup there? There were excellent pitches, 2 swing and misses on that, but he's starting to slow the game down. You don't want to take away his competitive nature, his energy, but you have to slow the game down enough to make sure you get that arm in that proper slot every time you deliver the baseball.
Even his reaction to Fletch and that short slide to second base. It's good to see that, especially for a young player like Sandoval. Almost getting to that point there where, like, feeling like you belong. You know what I mean?
You bet. And the stuff, from what you guys have told me through the years, there's always been stuff that belongs, but that's not how you stay in the big leagues. We know that.
Yeah, you got to be able to pitch. 97 with a fastball from the left side, a very good wipeout slider, but his changeup is a plus pitch. Same thing with his curveball. He just has to believe in himself.
Changeup swung right through it.
He's getting a ton of swing and misses again with his changeup. 8 swing and misses on his changeup. He's also got a number of soft contacts and ground balls with his changeup.
To the right side, right into the glove of the first baseman, Jared Walsh. That was not soft contact, but it's an out. Club, and kudos to all these franchises, is that everyone thinks at any point the wheels will come off the Rays, because how can they do what they do? And for the Giants, they're a shocker. The White Sox came in with huge expectations. They were very active in the wintertime, which leads you to stand and stare at the Rays again. I mean, it just does. They were in the World Series, and a pitch here, a bounce there, away from being world champs, and you just marvel at the way they do their business. And they're 41-24.
They run the baseballs, run the bases really well. They catch the baseball. They get hits with runners in scoring position. They pitch well. Their bullpen's solid.
Breaking ball hits the outside corner. Strike one. Ward singled and scored back in the second inning. Popped to short. In the third.
Well, Ryan Smith has really settled it down for the Diamondbacks after 6 runs, 2 innings. Coming out of the bullpen has been solid.
Such a huge contribution for a team that is just struggling in every facet of the game right now. As we told you, Smith has been a good reliever. When you have a starting staff with a high ERA, when you're in the middle of losing streaks that are epic several times during a year, to get a long man becomes super important. That slider misses outside.
Not allowed a base runner yet.
When he's all over all 4 quadrants of the strike zone, he can sink it heavy. Nice little slider that he rarely throws over the plate. I mean, it's probably a temptation for Arizona, even on a single outing like this, to juggle your rotation around.
I would not be surprised if he's not back in there, though. And he's got some good life on his fastball.
And by the way, Riley, we don't blame you for trying to see if that can be called a strike. 3-2. He's going to try to hit that corner. He ended up right down the middle. Interesting travel after the game, because the Angels will travel to the Bay Area. They'll stay, I would guess, in San Francisco. They'll take on Oakland. The Diamondbacks will travel to the Bay Area, where they'll stay in San Francisco and take on San Francisco. As that one down the line, hugging the line, into the corner it goes. An easy 2 and another extra base hit for Taylor Ward.
Boy, 2 more hits in the game for Taylor. Using the entire baseball field today. Stay back on the baseball, go to right, turn on an off-speed pitch, and hook it down the line and keep it fair. 5th double, 11 extra base hits on the season for Taylor Ward, getting in scoring position as the Angels try to get a run back now.
Juan Lagares. We talked about his bad luck in his last at bat. Maybe he can find some good luck now. Find an alley somewhere and run for a bit. Fights that one off. He's going to run for a bit. A run will score for the Angels. Lagares needed that one. In this series, there was another double. This is an extra base hit. Maybe he goes on a run now.
Yeah, a little lunchtime, little double here. Back-to-back doubles for the Halos. Taylor Ward scores his 2nd run of the game, while Lagares, with his double, drives in his 13th run, 8th double of the season.
Sandoval, a slash base hit in the 2nd inning, and then grounded out in the 3rd.
back to the second inning, take a look at our Frontier play sense with the infield in. Patrick Sandoval goes a little butcher boy and just puts the ball on the ground with all those infielders in, is making contact, seeing exactly where they're set up. He just punches that one right back up the middle.
Look like an athlete there. You see him round that bag? Stabs at that one. Walker is right up under his chin, charging to play it.
Well, you figure a Butcher boy with Mike Butcher, former Angels and Diamondbacks pitching coach, living out there in the Valley.
Swing, and he misses at a Smith. Slow curveball. Hasn't thrown many of those.
You know, because he got back-to-back changeups from Sandoval. He goes, you know what, I'm going to throw a little wrinkle in on you with a curveball.
That's a pitch that could be very effective against lefties. Kind of act as his second changeup. Here's David Fletcher. See if Fletch can return to the Fletch form. Drive in a run, fight one off somewhere into right. Get himself an RBI. Mr. Runner in scoring position.
By the way, Darren, how great are people working in the truck be able to come up with that on that Frontier play sense, showing where exactly where the infielder was set up, coming in, creeping in on Patrick Sandoval, yet he gets that ground ball over their head. We have such incredible people working for us.
I was in talkback asking about it, how it was done. It's such an incredible element to be able to share it, and we hope you folks at home take it for granted. Please do. We promise we're not going to, though.
No. I'm amazed.
1-1 the count. So Fletch hitless in his last 13 at bats. This is 3+ games. Prior to that, a .411 on base with hits and walks in a 16-game run. Goes out and gets that one, takes it down the line. They were playing him the other way. Run, Fletch, run! Into second he goes. How about a double? 3 in the inning. David Fletcher gets to drive in a run.
Second RBI of the afternoon for Fletch as Fletch lives to drive this one. Another off-speed pitch. It's twice in this inning. From Ward to Fletcher, turning on an off-speed pitch. So hoping to get a little more distance to see if Fletch get that first home run. It's been a long time for Fletch. But he'll take the double.
Here's Justin Upton, 1 out. He was thinking about a homer last time up. He's got a single, he's got a double. He's got a pair of RBIs. He's scored 2 runs. Gosh, Upton, in his last 18 games, he's got 21 hits and 14 walks. Jay up, lines it into left field for a base hit. Hit that one too hard to drive in a run. A 3-hit day at Chase Field for Justin Upton. That always has to feel good.
And it does for him. And the way he's swinging the bat, how hard he's hitting the baseball. Even at last at bat, he was called out on a 3rd strike. He knew when he tracked that slider off the plate, it was called a strike. It was not one.
Jose Mota. I know we were talking about Jared Walsh keeping a double fair in the 2nd inning. Had a big hit last night. I think you have some idea how to show us what he's been working on.
Yes, let's put us to work here. So we're talking about the baseball and staying inside of it. This is how you keep that ball fair. And I'm doing it from the right side now. And we just saw Taylor Ward do the same thing. So if I lead with this knob and I stay inside the inside pitch, it's going to have the effect and not so much this. If I get around this pitch too much, it's going to be a foul ball. So same thing applies to the right-hander and keeping that ball down the line. So watch the knob come through. Watch where the barrel is in the last minute. Knob first, hands first, then the barrel, and that's how you stay away from that hook. That is beautifully done right there by, I got this on time also, in Jared Walsh.
Oh, that's great stuff, Jose. Man, I love that. Here is Walsh. Swings right through it. So
the first person who mentioned that to me, by the way, was Bruce Hines' father, Ben Hines. And it was done up the tee in a soft toss, and he'll throw you an inside pitch and say, I want you to hit this pitch inside the other way. And at first you're like, what? But that's how you exaggerate it to get to the concept.
Chases that one. It's so interesting. I was going to ask you if the tee is something you could use. And if I'm 15 and my dad says, hey, guess what Jose just said?
100%.
A lot of late movement there. Started it at him, and then it dove over the inside corner. That was a money-sinking fastball. That's about the best he's thrown.
Yeah, I mean, that type of movement is a left-handed batter. It's going to be very difficult to pull the trigger and make contact against that. You're freezing thinking it's not going to be a strike.
Going back to that, Darren, Garrett Anderson talked about that the other day, too. On the batting tee, in which part of the baseball he's trying to hit. So the hands come through nicer inside the baseball.
Stassi is homered, hit by a pitch, retired. As he hits one to right center field, hangs up nicely. Put away by Josh Reddick. Add-on time for the Halos. They put 2 on the board, lead it by 7. All of you sons and daughters out there. By the way, you could take dad or grandpa, stepdad to the ballpark Father's Day, June 20th. Angels take on the Tigers at 1. The first 10,000 fans ages 18 and up receive a Rendon playing card set, courtesy of Bally Sports West. For more info, visit angels.com/promotions.
He's like listening in. He said, okay, I'm ready. Good time to give out those playing cards in the month of June, because that's been a good month throughout his career. 529 career slugging percentage for Rendon in June.
And I'm sure they considered that. Here's Ketel Marte as that one is up and away.
He can't wait to get that Anthony Rendon deck of playing cards. You know, he might already have it.
It appears to me that he wants nothing to do with the current conversation. I mean, it's a great conversation with all sorts of passion and energy going on around him.
He's focused.
He's focused on his doppelganger playing third.
Yes. He said, all right, where are you at now? It's a 2-0 count. Marte may be out in front of this one, so be ready at third base to make a play.
Good fastball, 2-1. Max had to stab at that one. I think he missed his spot.
Great changeup.
Boy, a money pitch.
When he has that two-seamer or even a four-seam, that fastball in that spot on the outside corner, and you back up with a changeup, same plane, it's unhittable.
Swung right through it. Marte goes down. That swing and miss changeup. And that's 10.
10 swing and misses on his changeup. That is phenomenal. And he's done it a couple times back-to-back changeups. And that was a hitter that had 2 hits against him. But granted, he didn't square up either one of those hits, but he put the ball in play twice.
Well struck, had that sound off the bat. Up against the wall in that big ballpark. Lagares under the home run balcony hauls it in. That ball's crushed.
Patrick Sandoval is liking that play by the former Gold Glove winner with the New York Metropolitans. This fastball right over the heart of the plate. One of those get ahead of the count fastballs. And a great route by Lagares going back. And part of the reason why you see him jump, because that overhang there, like you mentioned there, and that's not an easy play for an outfielder, because it could scrape along there too. Sandy approved. I will take that pitch all day long. Now, a change up that spot right now might be a pretty good pitch to throw.
0-1 the count to Christian Walker. Reached on a fielder's choice, grounded out. There's the changeup. He took it.
Close. That's a great pitch, though. So that's knowing what your umpire's calling. Credit Stassi and Sandoval to go right to that pitch after a fastball called in that spot.
Pitch count 80, very manageable. 1-2 the count. Want it again, the wiggle here?
Oh, definitely.
After you got a commitment on a fastball up. Wiggle, of course, folks, the wiggle of the fingers for the changeup. A little too far outside.
Not often he muscles up, but he muscled up on his changeup. Just forced that one instead of trusting the grip.
What's next?
I would not go away from that pitch. I go right back to the changeup. He makes adjustments with that pitch really quickly.
Fastball. I mean, in a perfect spot, by the way.
And just a little bit late on that one, huh? 94, he was looking change up.
Into foul territory. Rendon puts it away. Hope we see him back out there in the 7th. Next 3 days, a chance to see that man put a bat in his hands and DH with regularity. 6 games back of the A's in the AL West. They hope to change that a bit with the win here. A's lead the season series. It's been a fun back-to-back. There has been an edge to this series. And the A's have done some big damage when they've needed it. And then the Angels have fought back up on the road.
When you look at those numbers for Matt Olson, 2 home runs a day, a lot of that damage on the first pitch he sees.
Ryan Buchter takes the ball, goes to work. Pitched 5 innings on Friday. Or I should say he was the losing pitcher on Friday. 5 games in 5 innings of work this year. He came in very briefly in that game on Friday, picked up the loss. Left-hander against Anthony Rendon to start things. One and 0 the count. 0 for 3 today.
Look at Sean Manaea is on the mound tomorrow night for Oakland. And one of the most difficult, I think he had a complete game shutout last time out. Never easy to back up a shutout with another really good performance, so especially early before you would settle in. That's going to be important for Joe Maddon's team to get some runs, and they've been doing that quite a bit, scoring early and often.
Rendon shoots that one to the right side.
I love Joe Maddon's theory about that the Mike Tyson effect. Just go out and land some punches early. 2 in the first, 4 in the second today here. He's still focused. He goes, you know what? I should hit that ball a long way.
Well, he's bothered by the loud music. He's trying to focus right now. Can we turn that down while Anthony hits, please? 2-1 the count.
All we need to have him stand up and just get his hands in that position to be able to swing the bat. That'd be gold.
Except for I think he'd be holding a tall beer can instead. That's got some side-to-side break to it. Buchter sweeps it in there. Runs the count full, 3-2. Iglesias waits for his chance.
You got some good Angels fans out there going back to game 1. Eric Ramirez, remember, he was the fan who was looking and saw himself on that MLB app during the game. He's been checking in with us today on the social media side, saying he had a good time and he appreciated the shout out.
I love it. I love it. On across the diamond, plays made out there by Cabrera. That's my bodyguard.
Yes.
Appreciated Jose for sharing him over just for security.
He made the open yesterday.
He did.
Because of you.
That guy looks like he could lift Chase Field. Here's Jose Iglesias. He was all excited seeing himself in the feed. Iglesias trying to get it to the downs, comes up short. Big home run cut, tied himself up a little bit. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Ward is singled, he has doubled. Taylor also popped to short back in the 3rd inning. It is so easy to find the true red, the Angels red in this ballpark. And we've got throwback jerseys, current jerseys, throwback caps. I told you, Gooby, that the night I came as a fan and sat with my family in the seats, I marveled at the amount of red I saw, at the amount of gear that is worn to. It was just a Tuesday night game. I think Angels fans sport the gear better than anyone.
Yes.
Now, for sure, when you're on the road, you want to be loud and proud, right? When you're in a visiting ballpark, you absolutely want to let them know who you're rooting for. But it's the same at home.
Yeah. Man, there's so many Angel fans. By the way, going back to Eric Ramirez, he took his grandson to his first Angels game.
So that was his grandson, huh?
And John Maley gave him a baseball. Maley gave him a baseball for being at the ballpark that day. That's great.
Into the catcher's mitt it goes. Eric, you said his name is Eric?
Yes, Eric Ramirez.
We need to remind him to be safe this week. It's going to be 117 on Tuesday. if he's going to be lifting, which we know he's going to be lifting.
Yes.
Go to the indoor gym, not the outdoor gym this week. 3-2 the count.
Yep.
And you could see right now, I remember him from the other day, you could see him with those 85s just doing curls. Inside.
Still love. He also shared the fact that his grandson had 2 major open heart surgeries before he was 1 year old. He's 4 years old now and enjoying a chance to go to the ballpark. It's just great to hear that from Eric.
Good stuff, Gooby. That story just gets better and better. Juan Lagares doubled. So in the 6th inning, played it a run with that double.
Boy, this balance in the lineup for the Angels is so impressive. Starts at the top with Jay up, Fletch at the bottom of the double, and everywhere in between some power swings. In the middle of the field approach throughout.
Hitting the baseball hard, too. A mile-high foul. Did all he could to lean on that one. You talk about yesterday, that comeback. The Angels hitters in 350 plate appearances this season have struck out only 73 times in a strikeout game. As that one's to right field, pretty well struck. Ballpark holds it. That late contact with the pressure is on is the 2nd best in the game. They're not under a lot of pressure right now.
Top tier plays, the changeup, the change piece for Patrick Sandoval. 10 swing and misses on his changeup. Looks like a fastball, just fades down and away. Even going back to what we showed earlier is how many swing and misses he gets on his changeup, where it's spotted. So often, just a little bit off the outside corner against right-handed batters. He'll throw that same exact spot to a lefty too, but that changeup is outstanding with 10 swing and misses.
It's starting to become a thing, these swings and misses. That was what we were leaning on while the team was struggling, that they were missing bats and getting ground balls. But now all of a sudden it's translating for sure for Sandoval, but for a majority of his mates into a positive run. It's interesting when you take a look at the Angels in their starting rotation and Sandoval in that rotation, trying to cement himself in there. Opponents have a whiff rate against Angels starting pitchers this year of 31%. That's the best in the game.
And for me, going forward, Sandoval's got to be part of this rotation.
Well, he leaves you very little choice, right? I mean, here he is. It's the 7th inning. Plenty left in the tank coming off what he's done in his last 3 starts. I mean, he had made the start being pushed into the opportunity against Oakland, pitched well, but Jose hit the nail on the head. It was his Wally Pitt, maybe Bart. And and it's not that, you know, he took anyone's job per se. He just jumped in there and grabbed hold of the opportunity. But the infamous Bart game was when he really showed his stuff. And you can't take the ball away from him now, nor would you.
He's got starter stuff. I mean, he has 4 quality pitches. He's got 2 plus pitches. 1, his changeup. 2, his slider. And he still runs his fastball 93, 97. So, yes, he's developing, slowing the game down. And that was his first walk of the game. I mean, obviously you don't want to walk anybody at any point during the game, but pretty solid as far as his control today. See if he can get another ground ball. He's got a number of them.
Pavin Smith, the tough hitter here.
You know, something, Darren, that I like to hear from Gooby is, Gooby, did you ever see a young starter that you as a veteran had to go and say, listen, you need to go out there and relax, because he's so caught up in the game coming up first pitch and bullpen routines, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a number of guys, especially as I progressed in my career, to be able to be that veteran voice with some young pitchers coming up. You just say, hey, listen, your stuff is there. You just got to trust it. You got to slow the game down, trust your preparation, both on the mental side and the physical side going into a game. And if you do that, you're going to be successful.
How about just the looseness side, you know, in the clubhouse to break up, you know, the monotony and just being so caught up in the moment?
Well, starting pitchers are a different breed, though, Jose. I mean, they're the day you pitch, it's just a different feel. But if you can break that ice a little bit, yeah, it'll help out. But you know you get to go out there once every 5 or 6 days in a 6-man rotation for the Angels. That's all you're thinking about, is that opportunity to go out and perform and do this for your teammates. Because then you feel like you're part of the team. That's what the most important thing for you as a starter, because you're not out there those other 4 or 5 days. So you want to be, when your time comes, you want to compete, you want to be deep in the game, and you want to give your team a chance to win, and you want to show how competitive you are.
2-2 the count to Pavin Smith. And then once Jose Quintana finds himself healthy and that shoulder's at 100%, it gets very interesting. Because I'm sure Patrick Sandoval's made it clear with his actions that he doesn't plan on giving his spot up. Cross that bridge when you get to it, right?
That was pretty nasty.
Slider. Didn't get a swing, didn't get a call.
Yes, Darren. As you know, baseball, what was the old saying? Baseball always has a way of letting you know what to do next.
Three-two. High and inside. Maybe a little fatigue, trying to do too much. So suddenly we have back-to-back walks.
Well, how about we dip down into the youth flashback? Reed Detmers. We've talked about him. Other prospects, too, doing their job. It seems like he's found it. And right now, the tighter breaking ball, Darren, Gooby, in the life on that fastball. Look at this. Nice and easy, repeatable delivery and filling that zone, huh?
That's outstanding to watch there. Sandoval angry with himself. Does not want to come out of this game. Joe Madden thanks him for his opportunity. And here at Chase Field, the Angels fans stand and cheer for him. Sandoval today, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. A couple of runners out there are his. Ruby, what'd you see?
Excellent stuff. Again, that changeup was great. I liked his slider when he threw it. Fastball velocity was solid, and helping himself, swinging the bat. Little butcher boy base hit, first major league hit for Patrick Sandoval. So doing it all today. Scored a run, got his first base hit. A little frustrated coming out of the game, but when you walk 2 batters in the 7th inning, you leave your manager no choice but to go out and get you. If you gave up maybe a couple hits, maybe a slow roller on the ground, yeah, he might stay in there, but with 2 walks, he wants to protect you as a manager.
Steve Cishek comes on, 1.76 ERA in his last 16 games. Really has been on a nice roll. Up, down, in, out, and really the proper change of velocity. Steve has been pitching like a kid again. He deals with a fellow veteran in Josh Reddick. I know he wanted to pitch deeper, but here's what Patrick's looking at. And we can say in modern baseball and metrics that wins don't matter, but you know what? Patrick Sandoval has made 19 starts in the big leagues. He's never won a game as a starter. Joe Madden trying to ensure that he does win a game for sure. And he comes out with a really good chance. So he'll settle down. And he'll appreciate that first major league win as a starter. Has a win out of the pen earlier in his career.
By the way, wins do matter as far as a starting pitcher.
That's what I thought. That's why I said it.
Yes. Every time you take the mound, that's their thought process, is getting a W.
Swings right through that one. Reddick goes down on strikes. I was raised by a man who worked hard to get 324 of them.
Yep.
I was raised that they matter.
Yeah, and for to devalue that, for you hear that conversation a lot about wins for a starter. It's that's not a conversation a starting pitcher's having with anybody.
So for those of you that are listening to Gooby say that, here's what I like about it. You're hearing a guy say that who embraces advanced metrics as much or more than any former major league analyst that's out there doing games. So just understand that.
Yes, yeah, and I love them all, but the value of a starting pitcher who gets you W's as a team. You look at the teams that are at that level we showed earlier with 40 wins. Look at those starters and how many W's those starters have.
David Peralta, a fan favorite here, gets the call. Had a couple of runners out there. He's had his moments, certainly, as a Diamondback. One time an independent league pitcher trying to create his career, as that one's way inside. But has earned himself a contract that I'm sure changed he and his family's life, and he's a very popular man here. Matter of fact, in 2018, he had a 30 home run season. He's got a Gold Glove on his shelf now.
There's going to be teams calling the Diamondbacks for him. Marte, Escobar.
No, you're exactly right. I think it's a challenging time when you're losing like you are, and you're the Diamondbacks, but you can move into a let's get better quickly with some good trades and then be active in the wintertime. I think the hard thing for Arizona as a family is what they're going through with their boss, Mike Hazen, general manager, who has taken a leave of absence from the team, and it's sad. His wife Nicole is dealing with brain cancer. It's serious. They're parents of 4 sons. Amiel Sade will step in, great baseball man, and run the ship while he's gone. So when you find yourself as a fan saying, make this change, make that change, understand the Diamondbacks family is hurting because their main man has had to leave his job.
Sending many prayers that way.
Yeah, his wife Nicole, and it's very serious now, and so for sure, Mike, if it passed along to Mike, we're thinking about you and your sons and, of course, your wife. That battle with brain cancer. He found a hole. He'll get this crowd excited, certainly. That's 10 total runs in this game now. 8-2 is the score. It's a pretty nice piece of hitting for a guy who likes to leave when he can.
We've seen him in the series go the other way. And off the bat, as a pitcher, a lot of times you're thinking if it's a regular defense setup, that's a ground ball double play. Instead, it's an RBI single. But Peralta is a very good hitter. He's leading Major League Baseball in triples.
Josh Rojas, he gets the call. Rojas got the start. And in game 1 of this series, he picked up a couple of hits, had an RBI. Hits it on a line. Right to the man they call Fletch. 2 outs in the inning. Hit it hard, though.
Boy, that's 3 really good at-bats in a row for Rojas. He's got a couple home runs at a line drive.
Phoenix native, went and played college baseball at Hawaii. And he came in really struggling into this series. He's warming up. Time to get out of town.
Yes.
Here's Carson Kelly. And Wise wants to pay a visit. Don't forget, by the way, to download the MLB app. You can get in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your Angels. Oregon native Carson Kelly takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Pre-COVID year 2019, it wasn't just his on base that was high like we talked about. He homered 18 times, slugged almost 500 as a catcher.
That's the bat. He hit a rocket to Jared Walsh for an out.
He struggled since coming off the IL, but I think you've got to view this man, if you're the Diamondbacks, as an asset. Guy who can catch, a hitting catcher too. I mean, look how we feel, Halos fans, watching what Max has done in June. A hitting catcher who can catch.
You can see he's got a good swing. Cishak got away with that one.
Just for the sake of the story, it needs to be pointed out. This man is still 26 years old. Eight to 2. You want to stop it right here, right now. That one's well struck to right field. Tracking it though is Taylor Ward. He puts it away. We'll step aside through 7. Angels by 6. '19, Shohei Ohtani becomes the 7th player in Angels history to hit for the cycle. When it was all said and done, it was a 5-3 win over Tampa Bay. He was 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Ohtani, he saw a slugging percentage jump in that game alone of 70 points that day.
First Japanese-born player to hit for the cycle, too, for Shohei. Ohtani grabbing a bat now.
Hey, look who's pinch hitting.
It's showtime.
Crowd going crazy. Fans of baseball, Angels fans and baseball fans, loving that he got this call. Shohei to pinch hit. .966 OPS, hopped off the bench, pitched in yesterday. Ginkel gets the call, the Arizona Wildcat alum. Fires the first one high.
A little grunt on that delivery. No, it's a challenge with Shohei Ohtani at the plate.
Breaking ball. And a pretty one.
I think this is a great decision for Joe Madden, is to keep that timing together, especially when you got Oakland series coming up. DH back in play.
Batting practice is one thing. This is different. He takes low. You saw him jog up the steps, then out the tunnel. At the bottom of the steps there at Chase Field, both sides, but on the visiting side, there's a batting cage. He probably was getting hot in that batting cage. Trying to leave over the top of a breaking ball.
That's 3 in a row. I think Shohei may see a high fastball here.
3-2 the count. That fastball up. You may remember earlier this year, he took a pitch similar to that over the plate, hit it out. Pinch hit yesterday in the 8th inning and pitched in. Breaking ball, got it. Yesterday it was a masterful at bat for Ohtani when they needed him the most as a pinch hitter, Jose.
Clinic. Watch Ohtani track the baseball. Location, spin, break, and just making sure he's on everything to make the adjustment on the swing. Now you're going to see a swing where he just under it, and because of tracking the baseball, he does this. I mean, that is a clinic on why you want to follow that ball all the way into the catcher's mitt.
Great stuff, Jose.
Actually, thanks for our production crew. Got a clip of that. I sent it over to the hitting coach of the Angels Dominican team. I say, show the kids this. When you talk about following the ball, Shohei does it so well. Why not?
David Fletcher, he's got a 2-hit day.
Well, when you see that going for the Angels, that's even better. Fletch getting it rolling. Hit a double RBI double, sack bunt hits, sack bunt RBI, and then a ground ball right back up the middle for Fletch. What a solid game, 2 for 3.
So when we think about what the move by Joe Madden and getting Fletch down and up has worked in 2 different ways to the positive side. Getting the mindset of Upton changed, and Fletcher not having to rush through the at-bats immediately starting a game. And Fletch even shared with me, I remember a couple of years ago when he had bottom, low in the lineup, that watching more guys in front of him obviously gives him a better idea on what to do.
Into the dirt, Fletch stays put. June 7th, 2005, the Diamondbacks spent the very first overall pick in the draft on this man taking the pitch, Justin Upton. He was traded about 8 years later to the Atlanta Braves in the wintertime of 2013. As he has to move out of the way of that one head high.
That's the danger you're seeing a lot in baseball for pitchers, because they're really overthrowing pitches, and when you're trying to throw the ball inside, it becomes a very dangerous pitch. The craft of pitching inside, not the same, because you're full max every delivery. Dangerous for a hitter.
That's an angry swing for Upton. Fletch tries to move up. After that pitch up and in, the slider down and away, enticing for Justin. David moves up. Since facing his old team, Justin Upton, and being traded away was interesting how it was handled, I think. He'll tell you that. He slugged .510 against the Diamondbacks in 41 games and homered 12 times. There's just an edge when he comes back to this ballpark. It's not a negative, it's just normal when you face your old team. Goes out with a check swing, rolls that one out to short. They get Upton that time.
Even that half swing, it still was hit pretty hard by Upton. Oh, that's how strong he is.
First baseman, Jared Walsh.
Here's Jared Walsh. Doubled in a run back in the second inning. Jared Walsh picks on a breaking ball. High drive, deep right field, way out of here.
Boy, what a great sign this is now for the Angels as they go up and take on The Oakland Athletics with Walsh, 2 extra base hits today, a double, a rocket double, and now a mammoth home run. 14th home run, now 15 doubles on a breaking ball. And if you look throughout the season, there's been a lot of damage done on breaking balls by Jared Walsh. Lifts out when that goes a long, long way.
It's hard to hit it into the pool when you hit it over the pool.
431. That'll give you that little look for Jared Walsh.
Well, to get it up that far, to hit it over the pool like that.
31-degree launch angle for Walshy going yard.
Stassi pops that one up to the right side. He stayed back nicely. In the pool?
Good flip, too.
No, over the pool, by the way.
Ball is crushed by Max Stassi, going back to Hyundai Key for the game. Wants and needs some early support, needs some good pitching and defense, some power. Maximus and then Walshy going yard, 2-run home run double. Just some great swings this entire game. Wants and needs. All checked in the game today.
Great call, Drake. You called it. Picked up his latte the other day. I like it. Junior Guerra comes on for the 16th time this year. His goal, 6 outs. Get it to the finish line as swiftly as possible. 10-2 the score. The Angels on top. 12 total runs in this game. But the good guys by 8. Two 2-0 the count. Marte singled a couple of times, has struck out. It's amazing what a winning streak can do for your attitude. Amazing what being above 500 can change your perspective into. When we know very well that while this team, should they hold on, will move above 500, at some point soon they'll make the greatest acquisition any team has ever made before the trade deadline in acquiring Mike Trout from the injured list.
Progressing very, very well. Kind of like that demeanor that you're looking at Joe Madden. It's all about business, getting this thing done, keep playing well. Not get overly excited about what they've done over the last 6 games because there's a lot more baseball to be played.
One answer I look forward to most, and I hope it's asked, certainly. Sure, we could hop on Zoom and ask ourselves, but the decision to let Patrick Sandoval, because that's the manager's choice, take out the lineup card, and I think Jose had said maybe he did it just to calm his nerves a little bit, get him thinking about something else. He's a wizard, if that's the fact.
How do you not trust him when he moved Justin up? He never hit leadoff in his life. Putting Max Stassi, he never hit cleanup in his life, and look what he's done. So, I mean, you just got to trust Joe. I think, you know, last year was a tough year because his 60-game sprint of a season, and Joe's strongest point is his ability to get the most out of his players and his conversations and getting players to play beyond even their capabilities. Well, this year you're starting to see that, being around the guys more and more, and just the trust and allowing those players to grow.
And attitude means a lot. The buy-in means a lot. I feel like in our chairs the word chemistry is way overused. I mean, it's just something you go to. But I think you have to buy in and trust one another and trust your boss. And Jose, I know Joe talked about that a lot yesterday, didn't he?
He did. He talked about how unselfish this group is. How sometimes he even tries to take their minds off of a baseball. You know, just go out there. That's why he has this American Legion week. For that reason, get away from the routines, take your soft towels, do your conditioning, and just go out there and react and play baseball. Been doing it for a lot of years, obviously, but this goes back to even before he was a manager with Mike Scioscia as a bench coach, where he would tell guys sometimes, tomorrow I'm going to ask that you don't get here until 5 p.m. Just don't argue, I'll take care of it. But just those things really, in a long season, Gooby, you know very well, they matter a whole lot. Changing things around.
You go back to last year in that sprint of a season, the first 40 games or so were a challenge for the Angels, and all of a sudden they got hot. Well, first 40 games or so this season, struggling, and now hot again. And Mike Trout even said that after the season last year, we just ran out of time because the team started to play well. Now you got plenty of time to turn this one around.
Base hit right side. Marte followed by Escobar. A walk to Marte. A single by Escobar. That's his first hit of the game.
Gooby, that's a good point, because remember the Angels, the last road trip where they went to San Diego and Los Angeles, they actually had to get in the bubble because of the possibilities of moving on.
Yeah, I can remember once found out I had the opportunity for this job. That was a narrative that I heard a lot in studying back to last year, and especially from Joe throughout the winter. And really being proud of how his team handled the last couple of weeks.
Until that tough last series against the Dodgers, when they were in there, they lost that first game, and then from that point forward is already looking forward to 2021.
Breaking ball, well struck, center field. Lagares puts it away. Well, if ever there were to be a time where a group of individuals may look ahead to an off season once that happened, that would have been last year.
Yeah. And the preparation, knowing what you have to do, who do you have to add on to as far as player and personnel.
As Drupal Cabrera has singled, walked, and scored, he has also struck out.
And from this side of the plate for Cabrera at the plate, he's not hit a ball that left side of the infield. That's why Anthony Rendon, the only one over there right now.
Got a chance to get a couple. There's your couple. Look at Guerra getting to the bag. The backside of that double play there is a 0. 3 more outs to get. Let's keep on top of your favorite team. It's Oakland on the road. Then, of course, it's full capacity, a chance to get half-price tickets and a Trout jersey for your youngster on the 17th. The Tigers are in town, a little break. Then the San Francisco Giants, and it's back out on the road, back east. Sean Manaea, Dylan Bundy, game 1 of that series. Frankie Montas, Andrew Heaney, game 2. And then Cole Irvin, Griffin Canning, game 3. By the way, quick reminder, game 3, if you're working remotely, especially easy to do this, just put some work aside. That's a day game. So getaway day game, 12:37, that game will be underway. We'll be on the air at noon. So Wednesday, remember, day game. Monday and Tuesday, 6 o'clock air time, and then we'll play at 6:40. Vaz Gershon, Jose, Gooby with a call on that series. Spend a week and then come fill this ballpark on Thursday. Oh boy, right back where it came from. Pitch up out over the plate, just scolded by Rendon.
So now 13 hits in the game for the Angels. And some hard hit baseballs.
Jose Iglesias 0 for 4. It's that middle part of the order, these two hitters that do not have a hit. Rendon has one now, a single at 101 miles an hour. And Iglesias, let's see if he can pick up his first hit of the day.
Get in on that party, everybody getting a hit in the lineup.
Rolls that one to the left side, could be 2. It is. Nice dig at first. Walker outstretched, right-handed throwing first baseman. 5-4-3 double play.
Right fielder Taylor Ward.
So again, just doing the simple math, Bundy, then Heaney, then Canning, then Shohei, correct?
Yes.
They haven't made it official yet. That's another reason to be here at full capacity. What an atmosphere that's going to be. A walk, a double, a single, 2 runs scored for Taylor. Ginkel runs that fastball in at 95 miles an hour. What a great story, especially as a Shadow Hills High School alum in Indio, California. He became the first athlete to come out of there, get a full scholarship at a 4-year school. He was actually drafted out of high school, very low by Tampa in 2012. Then he took his trip to Fresno and turned himself into a first-round pick. That same year, 15, a couple of rounds later, David Fletcher was drafted. Those are the 2 impact Angels from that draft.
I think it's been real impressive about Taylor Ward is his versatility. He could play a lot of defensive positions. He's played all 3 outfield positions. He's a catcher. Still saw him catch some games in spring. He's been a first baseman. The way he runs and handles the bat, it's very, very important for the team going not only this season but going forward. But continuing on the way he's swinging it this year.
Drifting under it out in right center field. Put away by LeCastro. 3 outs to their 2nd consecutive sweep for the Halos. Patrick Sandoval. 6+, 2 earned, 10 strikeouts, changeup fastball, dominating again.
I just love that swing and miss changeup he has working right now and helping himself. First career base hit, scored a run. Little butcher boy action. Patrick Sandoval hustle him down that line. He said, you know, maybe I'll even turn that into a double. But slow down, Sandy man.
Hey, by the way, he also took out the lineup card, which you said you have never seen. A starting pitcher on the day he pitches.
No.
Our esteemed producer, Max Linewan, shared the why. Would you like to share with the folks?
I would love, no, I'd just love to hear you explain the situation.
Well, you're the star, so I like to, you know, step aside for a man who buys a coffee for Drake.
It's all about, you know, with baseball, it's always about superstition. He's been taking that lineup card out now during the stretch
on
of
non-start days.
Non-start days. So 5 wins in a row. Even when you're starting, you got to keep those things going. I mean, you can't break that. 5 wins in a row, bringing up the lineup card for Patrick Sandoval, so you got to keep it rolling.
To the bag in time for the out, so you will expect that in Oakland, it'll be Patrick Sandoval bringing out the lineup card tomorrow. That's worth looking for. There are some superstitious folks out there in this sport of baseball. Some that are not actually players, just fans of the game. We have some superstitious fans. Here's Josh Reddick. Such a baseball thing, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt.
And I know many of you are watching, and you'll say, that has nothing to do with nothing.
What are you? That does sound like a Seinfeld episode.
And you may be right.
Nothing.
And you may be right. But I think the superstition, the repetition, the routine of baseball lends itself to that. Towards center field, tracking, settling under it, 1 out away.
Some really good defense out in center by Lagares today. He's in a double too, but solid defense.
I love Guerra's approach. It's the approach we ask of pitchers and juniors doing it. And he's getting hit hard a couple of times because of it. After he got behind, walked the first hitter, he just decided, I'm throwing strikes. I'm up 8.
Yeah,
let's go.
Sometimes you overthink it and throw a lot more of those. He's got a very good swing and miss splitter. An opportunity to use the fastball.
Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Vargas lines that one to left field. It's a base hit. Get the call off the bench and delivers. And now Josh Rojas, who is part of a change earlier in the game. Looking to make it 6 in a row. They are seeking their first as Vargas moves up. Defensive indifference. They're seeking their first 6-game win streak, and I think this is worth mentioning. Since mid-April of 2019. The calendar has turned many, many times since then.
It's liking the way that the team concept right now working for the Angels is everyone being a part of this.
Harris sails that one wide of the plate to Rojas. A's will be a great test. Been a blast of a series thus far this year.
Yeah, they've been playing well against each other. 4-3. The A's have the slight advantage. The A's have won 2 in a row against them.
The last time the Angels were above 500, May 1st, they were 13-12. They look to win for the 33rd time today. Arizona in danger of dropping to 20-46. Three and 1 the count. I don't know, maybe that fly out got him gun shy. It was well struck to center in the attack mode he was in. Not as much in that attack mode. And then a base hit that followed. That's high. That's ball 4. Carson Kelly's 0 for 4.
It's that upper part of the strike zone not called throughout the entire game by Rob Drake behind the plate.
By the way, Angels Live is coming up next. Frenchie's out on the set doing tricep dips right now, getting ready. While Gooby's over here doing some bicep curls. That one is lined in the left field. It's a base hit, not over yet. 10-3 is the score. Kelly's first hit, his 24th RBI. LeCastro came on to play center field last inning. He was rewarded, Tim is, by his team getting him a chance to hit.
He can run. Don't put a lot of pressure on a defense. Anything hit on the ground.
Angels bullpen still quiet. You want to avoid another arm even throwing. And you will. It is a sweep for the second consecutive series, and the Angels are victorious. They sweep right out of town here at Chase Field. Final game, a 10-3 victory over the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and more importantly, one game now over 500. Joe Maddon's club. Patrick Sandoval setting the tone, throwing some excellent baseball. The lineup, Walsh, Maximus, home runs, Ward, Upton doing his thing at the top of the order again. There's some balance throughout. Anthony Rendon with a knock too. Good to see that from the club, and the energy and the smiles. Anthony Rendon said this last night after the game we played on the pregame. This is the energy some of the younger players are bringing around the veteran players as they're all trying to put it all together.
Jared Walsh had a big day as well. Patrick Sandoval was